Alright guys, well I left out, so I got the peak on. Sorry I didn't get a chance to video that. But it's pouring rain, so I'm going to go out to the shed and we're going to see where it's leaking. I already know that the sun domes are going to leak because those screws aren't in yet. I'm waiting on the kit to come in. So I'm going to go to the shed and we're going to see what's leaking on the inside. Alright, so what's leaking? We already know that the roof is going to leak, and that's only because the screws aren't in yet. So that's leaking down here. I don't have the screws in the window yet, so that's going to leak. This is leaking. But other than that, it looks, for the most part, that everything else is dry unless it was open to the elements. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to end up sealing up the skylight once the screws come in. Now, for these, the skylights, these things actually went in really easy. So these were actually really simple to put in. You place them on top, and they actually, somebody was a genius and came up with these pull tabs. So you just pull the tabs down, they fit in, and then you screw right into them. And so you do that all the way along each side. So they're basically just thinner pieces of plastic to act like skylights to allow some more light in if you're not going to have lights in here other than these windows, which actually allow a lot of light in. So the shed is almost done. I still have to tighten up some spots. Some roofing, on the roof where I wasn't able to reach by myself. It's going to take two people, one to hold down the roof and one to screw in. So there's one there. There's one up here. This corner right here, and all this is because this is all plastic and it bows and flexes, so sometimes you can't be in two places at once. And then I have to put in a couple of more of these roof supports, one over here and one over there by the sunroof. So all in all, it's been, for the most part, a fairly simple, easy experience, except for this stupid freaking peak and these stupid bolts right here. Alright guys, so we are just about done with this shed. Been looking at a few minor details. I know I ran into the issue with the screws and some of the bolts being inside out. Well, I just noticed, I didn't know why I didn't notice it before, the doors. So, two of the doors have notches in them and two of them do not. The two with the notches go on the long wall, the two without the notches go on the short wall. I got that backwards. Well, not backwards. I got them half and half. I have a notch on one wall and a notch on the other wall. Now, this shed is already put together. The only thing I haven't done is anchor the thing to the ground. And I think I'm just going to live with not having the notch there. And if I need to, I'll just cut it. I'll just cut the PVC, cut the vinyl and deal with it that way, because I'm not taking this shed apart again. This is not going to happen. So we're going to get to putting the door hardware on, which we should have done way long ago, but we're just doing it now, and we'll be just about done. All right, when you're working on the doors, putting on the hardware, make sure that you put them on so that your holes are here by the door. Because this is where you're going to put your latch. If you put the bars on the other way, upside down, they're still on the same side of the door, but you end up with this. This is where the latch is, this is where the holes are, this is where the latch is. So make sure that you put the brackets for the doors, so that they can lock together. Make sure that you put them on the correct way, otherwise you're not going to be able to put a lock on your door. Alright guys, so the battle for the lifetime shed is almost over. I spent about a week on this myself. Most of it was fighting with the center truss until I figured out the 2 bolts were off. So I've gotten everything together. All the doors latch, all the locks locked. Everything's good to go. The only thing left are the shutters. And when they come in, because they're in the mail, the bolts that hold the sunroof on, the 2 skylights. Because right now I just have screws poked through the roof just to line up all the holes. And then once those bolts come in, I'll just replace them and screw them in. And then we'll be done. And then we'll go on to the next video where I'm going to be actually framing inside the shed. Why am I doing that? Well, I'm going to frame inside because we're in Florida and we get a lot of wind here, especially starting today, hurricane season. And they're supposed to be, we average about 12 named hurricanes a year. Jacksonville doesn't always get hit by them, but we average about 12 names a year, and they're estimating more because the Atlantic Ocean is actually warmer this year than it was last year. So what I'm going to do is take 2x2s, because I don't want to take up a lot of room. I'm going to take 2x2s and I'm going to frame the inside of the shed, and I'm also going to be able to attach shelving, attach tools, build things, because I'm going to kind of use this as a little workshop for future projects, possibly building shelves or projects for my kids, projects for you guys, DIY, stuff like that. So I hope you learned something from building this shed. I know I did, that following instructions doesn't always matter, because if the instructions are jacked up, your shed's going to be jacked up. So this is the Lifetime Shed, model 60072. Dual entry, 8x15, and alone it took me just over a week to put it together. That includes it coming off the truck, figuring out how to get it into the backyard myself, unboxing it all, and putting most of it together myself. I did get help from my father-in-law and my buddy Junior, which was a huge help, both of them, because there were things that I couldn't do by myself. And with my wife watching our 3 kids, she was unavailable, you know, because the kids they're a full-time job. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys haven't had any feedback, any questions, shoot me a message down below. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Hit the little bell so that it notifies you when I upload more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.